Hi there, students. Rip-roaring as an adjective, and even rip-roaringly as an adverb. Okay, rip-roaring means wild, noisy, exciting, uproarious, riotous. So I went to a rip-roaring party on Saturday night. Okay, it was loud, there were lots of people, it was really lively, there was excitement, it was intense, there was lots of boisterous behaviour. Okay, so boisterously wild and exciting. A lot of noise was made. A rip-roaring party. Energetic, enthusiastic, with lots of gusto. It was a rip-roaring bar fight until the police came and broke it up. So energetic, enthusiastic, uncontrollably noisy. And this is your rip-roaring. We had a rip-roaring time on holiday. The party was well organised and it went rip-roaringly. I went to the match on Saturday and it was a rip-roaring derby between the two teams. So it's something that's lively, it's full of energy. You could describe a party, a performance, or perhaps a period of time. I had a rip-roaring time when I was at school. The band played a rip-roaring set that had the crowd dancing all night. The film was a rip-roaring success. Everybody loved it. I can hear the children upstairs are having a rip-roaring time playing in their bedroom. The play was a rip-roaring comedy and the audience was rolling in the aisles laughing. The stock price had a rip-roaring start to the year. So rip-roaring inflation, that would be the last thing that the Chancellor of the Exchequer wants. It's going to be a rip-roaring success. I went on a rip-roaring buying spree and bought everything that I fancied. So rip-roaring. The country at the moment has a rip-roaring economy. Everything is selling and things are going really well. Noisy, exciting, galvanised, electrifying, inspired, galvanising. So rip-roaring. He told rip-roaring tales from his childhood. The band gave a rip-roaring performance. The film is rip-roaring fun and you will really enjoy it. Okay, so rip-roaring, this has been around since the 1830s, so it's not something new. Something rip-roaring, it's full of energy, full of excitement. There were rip-roaring special effects in the film. Yeah, it was loud and boisterous, uproarious, thrilling, electrifying, full of energy. So Mickey had a rip-roaring time spending his wages. The football season got off to a rip-roaring start. It was a rip-roaring display by the centre forward who scored 3 goals in the match, a hat-trick. This is quite the rip-roaring town. So my career was off to a rip-roaring start. So formality, rip-roaring. It sounds a touch old-fashioned. I'm going to give it a 6 in formality. I think you could use it anywhere, but it's slightly literary, slightly descriptive, and slightly old-fashioned. So I think a 6 is a reasonable rating to give it. there was rip-roaring laughter coming from the room next door. The play was very amusing with a rip-roaring final act. He was received with rip-roaring acclaim for the performance that he had given. The guests within earshot joined them in rip-roaring laughter. Never was a gathering more varied and more rip-roaring. Okay, the party went rip-roaringly well. Yeah, I haven't given you any with an adverb. His career is going rip-roaringly. He performed rip-roaringly. Okay, so you could use it as an adverb as well. So, rip-roaring, rip to tear and roaring, rah. But I don't quite get where it goes together. I guess your clothes are getting ripped and there's a roar of sound or something like that. So, rip-roaring, rip-roaringly. Bye for now.